Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. I'm Ari Zabat out of the GMS Dallas camp. And this lesson here is Isaiah, the 14th chapter. I'm probably going to do the first 12 verses for this to be in several parts, 2 parts. This will be part 1, and we're just going to get right into it. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1, and it reads, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." All right. And the first part of this verse, where it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob," that's, representing the nation of Israel. And we're going to get a precept to that as well. Let's get that precept. The precept is still in Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. And it reads, "Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen." See? All right. So that's speaking on Israel. It's talking about the nation of Israel, which is Yahweh Shai's chosen. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai chosen, and will yet choose Israel. In the rest of the verse, and it reads, "And set them in their own land." And I have a precept to that, because right now, Israel, the Israelites, we scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Predominantly, most of us are in Babylon the Great, which are being oppressed together, northern and southern kingdom, Ephraim and Judah. All right. And I have a precept to that as well, too. Let's get that in the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 2. And it reads, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst all nations and parted my land." See? And, as goes to show you that, we were scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth, and the land has been parted by the Gentiles. And until Yahweh Shai, until our power comes back and put us in our own land, back in the land, we still, the land is going to be parted. Okay. All right. You still have Gentiles over there living in our land. All right. And let's finish the rest of the verse out in verse 1. "And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall," and let's focus on those strangers. And those strangers are Israelites. That's who it's referred to in this verse right here. And we're going to get a precept to that as well. That's in 1 Peter 1:1. And that reads, "Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia." So we're scattered, throughout the 4 corners of the earth. That's who those strangers are, who is speaking about. All right. Let's get that up. Go back to that verse again in Isaiah 14:1. "And the strangers shall be joined with them," which are the Israelites, because we're Israelite foreigners. All right. "And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." All right. And we're going to be one again, coming back to, which is going to be part of the, which is not part of, but that's entering into the second covenant. The first covenant the curses are upon us. The second covenant, we're going to be joined together again. So that's what that's going into. And then verse 2, and it reads, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of their Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. All right. And we're going to focus on the first part of this verse. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of their Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids. Now we know who the people are. The people are Israelites, and we're focusing on the them. The them are the heathen nations, starting with Esau, Edom. Okay. The heathen nations are going to be our possession, for servants and handmaids. And I got a precept for that as well. Let's get that in Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. And it reads, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. See? So those are the heathens that we're going to have as slaves. Okay. And the rest of that verse, and it reads, and they shall take them, the Israelites shall take the heathens captives, whose captives they were, and shall rule over their oppressors. And there's a precept to that too, because these people, these other nations, heathen nations, they had taken a part in our captivity. All right. And let's get that in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2. And the meat is in verse 10, but we'll start from verse 8. And it reads, her temple is become as a man without glory. And it's talking about Jerusalem. And Jerusalem, it's a people before it's a place. All right. Which is Israel. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. All right. Her infants are slain in the streets, and her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoil? See? So every nation had a part to play in when it comes to us being in captivity, whether they were the king and rulers of our captivity or were supporting the nations with our downfall, benefiting from it. That's why it reads again in verse 10, what nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? So every nation, has been a part of our captivity. All right. Let's go back to Isaiah 14. We're on verse 3 now, and it reads, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from the fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. All right. And that's, we've been in captivity for so long, and, our people have been destroyed, from captivity. We thinking that this is just the way, everything is going to be okay. We thinking we just going to be slaves forever. But, when this day take place, starting with the chosen and elect, this is where we're not going to have any fear. We're going to have rest. And I have a precept to that. And really, it's just not one it's the whole chapter is going into it. This is Psalms 149. And I'm just going to read a little bit out of here. Psalms 149. I'll just start from verse 1. And it reads, praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord Yahweh a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints, which are the Israelites. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. How about Shem Yahushua? Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. Why? For the Lord Yahweh taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. See, that means we're no longer going to be in captivity. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. That's showing rest. Okay. And, that's pretty much all I wanted to get out of that, because it's not going to be, when it's this state and circumstance anymore with the curses on her. The curses are going to fall upon these other nations, these heathen nations, starting with Esau, Edom going down first. All right. Let's head back to Isaiah chapter 14. I believe we're on verse 4, and it reads, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how had the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? All right. And in this verse here, the king represents the ruler of a nation, and the king of Babylon is talking about Esau, Edom, starting with the elites, How had the oppressor ceased, the golden city? All right. And we're going to get a precept to that because, let's get the precept first. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. And it reads, we start from verse 1. And it reads, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. And it's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Day in and day out, this is what these devils are doing to keep us in captivity, to make sure we keep breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, teaching us false idols. And these are part of the curses until Yahweh shall return that we're going to continue to be in as a people. But the elect, his chosen and elect, they're going to sing that new song that's going to, be the beginning of the house of Israel getting that rest. All right. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So, behind closed doors and everything, these devils are, whether they writing unrighteous decrees, even as your president, DJT, he executive orders just going out like it ain't nothing. He signing them babies like, they monopoly money or something. All right, verse 2, and it reads, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So that's what that's going into with that oppressor. How had the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And this man's going to go down and be taken out of a rulership, through our power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, when Yahweh shall return with the angels. That's how it's going to cease. All right. Verse 5, and it reads, the Lord Yahweh had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And this just represent their power, rulership, and authority being taken out by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And it's going to start with the plagues, Jacob's trouble, and World War III until the nuclear destruction come. And Yahweh with the angels, the chariots. All right. Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hinder it. All right. And, he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke. And this is just, the Esau's military, just showing you how powerful it is. When he come down, whether it's on another nation or, when Esau taking over, whether he's going from colonizing another country or just, having his way. He's the hammer of the earth. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. Is the middle of that verse. It's persecuted and none hindered. All right. Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. And the reason why is because when this devil get taken down, there aren't going to be any, there's no wickedness that's going to be, abroad and also in destruction being taking place on earth at that time. The earth is going to rejoice when this devil's out of rulership, verse 8, and it reads, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. And that word feller, let's get it. This is Strong's H3772. Kara, and it reads to cut down, to be cut down, take off, to hew. And when you hew away something, is you cutting it down, to hew. All right. So this is Esau, destroying the earth because trees play a big part of our air quality. This devil go throughout the four corners of the earth, destroying everything. He does it in excess. And we need trees to cut down for fire, to build a fire, all of these things like that, homes or whatnot, tables. But, Esau does it with excess to where, he's destroying the earth. All right. Verse 9. And it reads, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And this is the grave here. I mean, the word hell here is it means the grave. So that's what it's saying. The grave is pretty much just being ready for Esau, to fall out of his rulership, which is the earth is happy that this devil is not going to be, destroying it anymore. Okay. You got to realize what Esau have done. He have poisoned the air, tainted the waters, oil spills in the water, fires throughout the earth, chemicals, diseases. So this, the earth is going to be happy, and then he's going to eventually be eradicated as well, too. So, the earth is going to be at rest. All right. And it says, even all the chief ones of the earth, which are these other nations, these heathen nations, it had raised up their thrones, all the kings of the nations, So they're going to be happy that this devil is out of rulership because they're going to be at rest and at ease. They're not going to have to worry about anyone, killing their leaders or, their loved ones or taking their resources where they don't have anything and, putting in other nations in debt, all of these things, because, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He's in the rulership. All right. Verse 10, and it reads, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And the other nations are going to see that, and they see it now that Babylon the Great is becoming weak. All of the other nations, they have nuclear weapons. They seeing we being dumber as a people, as a nation. And I'm speaking of America, Babylon the Great. You know, you have Mo's, the LMNOP community, you know, they seeing all of this stuff over here. They saying, hey, what's going on? How are they becoming weak? You know, we dependent and needing loans. We in debt, all of these things. Okay. And then you also got to look at the Egyptians. The Egyptians were the same way when we were in Egypt. You know, they were hit with plagues. They were becoming weak, just like the other nations. All right. Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And the pomp here, we can get it. All right. This is Strong's H1347. And is that the right word? Pomp? Which is thy pride. Yeah. So that's what it means, pride, arrogance. So their pride, Esau, Edom, his pride, Babylon the Great, you know, the elites, and thinking that, you know, they're going to stay in rulership, that they really, you know, trying to hijack the blessing from Esau. I mean, from Jacob. Esau trying to hijack the blessing from Jacob. So, you know, he's becoming prideful that we're in this state, and, you know, doing everything in his power to, you know, keep us from our power. But, you know, their pride and the pride of this people as a nation is going to be no more. You know, it's decaying. You know, as a nation, these people are falling. And also it's going into their infrastructure too, breaking down. You know, they becoming weak. And that's, you know, with them being in Babylon the Great, being in debt, having to borrow. I mean, we're dysfunctional. They're divided in their own home. People see they're warring against each other. You know, with the different political parties, Democrats against Republicans. These things the other nation are witnessing. They saying, hey, they becoming weak. Continuing on with verse 11, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So when you know, it's symbolic, because, you know, when worms, when you speak about worms, worms break things down. Whether it's in a dead body, things begin to decay, break down. It take time, but you see it decaying. You know, and then when they get to a certain point, it happens quickly. You know, start out slowly, and then it happens quickly as time goes on. All right, verse 12, and it reads, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? All right, so we're going to kind of deal with this. We're going to start from the beginning, especially dealing with Lucifer. The word Lucifer only means light bearer, which are the elites, the luminaries. That's which is Esau, Edom, the top banking families, the Rothschilds. That's who it's speaking about here in this verse. It's not talking about, you know, a man with a pitchfork, spiritual demon Satan, a red dude with wings, you know, DJing, cutting up in the earth, having angel rap battles, you know, and he get cut or whatever, and you know, Most High strike him down to the earth, and you know, he's mad and pissed off, and one day want to return, and all of this stuff. No, that's not what he's talking about. It's talking about a man, you know, that is speaking of the son of the morning, which you just read in these other verses here, verse 8, where it's talking about a nation. Okay. And, you know, it's saying, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And this is what, all the nations are going to be saying. Like, man, we talking about the hammer of the earth. Someone who's powerful enough to just come into your country, colonize it, set up dictators, for Esau Edom's Babylon the Great agenda. If you don't agree with him, he'll kill your leader and set up a leader in there that's going to agree with his agenda, And that's what he does throughout the four corners of the earth. And that's why he's so powerful, because they know the power in his military might. Who can war against him? Okay? So these other nations looking like, man, was this the guy? It says, how art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? Like, man, how did he fall out of rulership and out of power? And this through our power, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, who's going to come back and take down this devil. And that's how it's going to happen. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah B'Hashem Ra'ah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.